Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Oh boy, today we have some very juicy Star Wars news. A list of plot points for The Mandalorian Season 3 has been circulating, similar to the one for the Andor series from the other day, but with this one, there are more reasons to believe it's absolutely credible, much more than the one for Andor. Now, the person who posted this sounds like they understand some fundamental behind the scenes things going on at Manhattan Beach Studios, and a lot of this lines up with what Jason in Making Star Wars has been saying about the show. I actually reached out to Jason earlier this morning to get his thoughts on it, and he says it's likely legit. The way it's written, the oddly specific details, the inside knowledge of certain actors, all point to the fact that this is probably real. Now this plot dump has so many crazy, amazing plot spoilers, character spoilers, and so on. So inevitably guys, here is your spoiler warning. If you just don't want to know what happens in Season 3 or potentially happens, then I urge you turn away now. But otherwise, let's dive into the nitty gritty. No more jibber jabber, let's get straight into it. I'm going to go through this chronologically and we're going to discuss each point as it comes up. So right off the bat they say, in no particular order, there is a spice cartel trying to force Grief Karga to allow them to run spice through the city of Navarro. They're working for a big, unnamed as of yet, player. So again, contextually, we don't know what this is all about. We're gonna find out in Season 3. So plot point number 2 is probably, in my opinion, the most interesting one. They say there's an episode where Grogu and Din travel to the border area of the unknown regions. A mysterious tall hooded man tells Din that he knows of a planet with legends of Yoda species. He says it's a really creepy episode, but in case you're worried, it's not the Yoda species homeworld, but rather home to a colony of dark side Yoda species. They look sickly pale green, they don't speak, and have ghostly blue eyes. Now, as soon as I read this, I needed a moment to take this all in. So you're telling me we're going to see some more Yoda species. We know that Dave Filoni follows in George Lucas's line of keeping the Yoda species scarce, so including them is a bit risky, but I think it's going to serve the plot. It's all well and good because they're not revealing the Yoda species homeworld nor the name of the species, but rather a colony of darkside users of the Yoda species on an unknown world. Now, in my opinion, that's going to be so awesome, but my question is, what is the point of it? What is the purpose of Grogu and Din going to this planet? Is Din trying to bring Grogu back to his own species, or maybe just trying to get in touch with them? In either case, it doesn't go well, and the plot leak says this colony of darkside Yoda species are called the Black Drinkers because they drink a poisonous black broth. So after seeing these so-called black drinkers, Din and Grogu get the hell out of there, and one of the big reasons is they try to take Grogu. And this brings up a question of how many planets with Yoda species on it are there out there. They have a mysterious secret homeworld, but this opens up the possibilities of colonies on multiple planets, and it's fascinating to me that it's in the unknown regions. And speaking of those, the mysterious hooded man tells Din to be careful so close to the unknown regions, as there are rumors that strange ships like no one's ever seen before have been spotted in the area, and ships have been vanishing along the border. Now, two thoughts come to mind. Are they finally tying it into Thrawn, the Chiss Ascendancy, and the Grisk, which is the canon version of the Yuuzhan Vong? Or could this be a different faction of the Imperial Remnant connected to the Sith Eternal that could also be part of the cloning facility? Really intriguing stuff. So next up, they confirm a rumor that's been going around in the last few weeks about Boba Fett appearing in Season 3. Well, not only do they confirm he is in this season, but he's in more than half of the episodes with Din. I'm so excited about this. In case you missed it guys, the other day I made an entire video explaining why I think Boba Fett can be saved in The Mandalorian Season 3. It can bring him back to form as a supporting character, just like he was in Mando Season 2, and set up a possible second season of the Book of Boba Fett. So next up guys, they talk about the all-out Mandalorian war that we saw in the leaked trailer, the one shown at Star Wars Celebration. Well, in that teaser we see the children of the Watch, Mando's clan, but the plot dump says they're firing on Boba and Black Chrysanthemum, as well as a bunch of Tusken Raiders. This happens in Episode 2, so in Mando terms that would be Chapter 18. And to my dismay, this takes place on Tatooine, not Mandalore. Well, we know that Lucasfilm love their desert planets, but as long as the story is good, I'm not too bothered. So they say the Armor and Paz Vizsla have found another covert of the Watch, and they're hiding out in a big cave that's the same region where Obi-Wan finds Luke in A New Hope, and I assume he's talking about the Jundland Wastes, which we also saw in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series where Reva chases Luke, where she almost killed him, but she has a change of heart last minute. So they say the local Tuskens tell Boba about the Mandalorians and want them gone. OP was told that this is Boba's most badass scene in any medium, and he knocks out several of the Watch with his gaffy stick. Black Chrysanthemum fights Paz, and Fennec Shand is back in the palace keeping rule while Boba is gone. And to be honest, Fennec being such a badass character, that's going to be really cool to see. Now, Opie was not told why they attack him, but it could be to do with him being a clone of Django or just simply wearing the armor. So apparently the Mandalorians and Boba with the Tuskens and Black Coruscantan eventually come to a stalemate and understanding, and Boba later tells Din about them. So moving on, this is something making Star Wars teased, but we now have some more details. Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown himself from Back to the Future, is playing a Mandalorian clan chieftain, and Keith David, a new name to this franchise, is playing another. This is not something we knew before, and typically if this was fake, they would not name a specific actor. Fake leaks often read like fanfiction and do not mention any specifics. Well, these two chieftains are two respected elders who Bo-Katan listens to. And then next up they talk about Ray Stevenson, who was cast for Ahsoka but is also in this, and he's basically the main antagonist of the season. He's playing an Imperial Mandalorian, kind of like Gar Saxon, but not Gar Saxon, because obviously he died in Star Wars Rebels, and even though Ray Stevenson voiced him, that is not who he's playing. He's an admiral and keeps watch over what's left of Mandalore, as the Imperial Mandalorians have a huge base under the Mines of Mandalore, which is of course where Din has to atone for his sins, and they're up to something shady and Din will run into them. In this leak, he's described as, quote, a bear-like brute, kind of like Gar Saxon basically. Opie says he has a large spiked gauntlet, and he was told he kills a fan-favourite character with it. Ooh, who could this be? Do you think it's possible that Bo-Katan could meet her end? I guess we're gonna find out. And now, my dear friends, a spoiler warning within a spoiler warning. We have some major characters coming up. They say last and most exciting, we're going to see Captain Rex, Wolf, Sabine Wren, Ahsoka, Fen Rao, Axe Woves, Hera Syndulla, Agents Kallus, Zeb Orrelios, and many more. So while we all think the Ahsoka series is the continuation of Star Wars Rebels, it's really in this show first. We're going to see the Ghost Crew in The Mandalorian Season 3. The big surprises to me are Rex, Wolf, Hera, and Zeb, but I will say guys, not to gloat or anything, but I was the first person to announce that Fen Rao's going to be in Season 3, because I was told Kevin McKidd was on set. There is so much in this leak to process, it's really difficult to get your head around. The Dark Yoda species, all the cameos from Star Wars Rebels, and the possible tease of the start of the Grisk War. The unknown regions are a very dangerous place, and the fact that according to this leak they're going to explore that in Season 3 is so exciting. I really can't put into words, guys. And let's not forget something, the Spice Cartel from an unknown player could connect to the Pikes, or even better, Crimson Dawn, or whatever is left of them. Now the Pikes were dealt with, I wonder if a bigger syndicate is going to try to take over Mos Espa, and as I said, that could set up the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. And speaking of which guys, I'm so happy Boba's going to play a co-starring role. And if you missed it, here's what I said the other day. But before that guys, share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. I'm really curious to hear what you think of all of this. As I say, share your thoughts below, I read all your comments, and I appreciate all of the amazing support. May the force be with you always guys, have a good one. Now, Tim has been very open in the past about his grievances with the spin-off, both in terms of dialogue and decisions surrounding his character. For one thing, he wanted to offload a lot of his lines to Ming-Na Wen, and he didn't feel like Boba removing his helmet all the time was beneficial to the perception of his character, especially in universe. Now, many Star Wars fans share those grievances, as well as many others.